hospital waiting room. Four men were waiting in the hospital waiting room because their wives were having babies. The nurse goes up to the first father and says, "Congratulations, you are the father of twins." That's odd, answered the man. "I work for the Minnesota Twins." The nurse said to the second dad, "Congratulations, you're the father of triplets." "That's weird," answered the man. The second man, "I work for the 3M company." The nurse tells the third man, "Congratulations, you're the father of quadruplets." "That's strange," answered the man. "I work for Four Seasons Hotel." The last man was groaning and banging his head against the wall. "What's wrong?" the other said. "I work for 7-Up." Can you imagine? I can't. But you know what? You'd probably be on TV because usually they are. In 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson issued the first presidential proclamation honoring fathers, designated the third Sunday in June as Father's Day. 6 years later, the day was made a permanent national holiday when President Richard Nixon signed it into law in 1972. Just a fact you may not be aware of. There was a scene that belonged on my Father's Day card. It was a dad muscling a lawnmower ahead of him with one hand and expertly towing a child's wagon behind him with the other. And the wagon said his 3-year-old daughter delighted at the noise and for the tour around the yard. This might have been the safest choice, but who says men can't multitask? Probably a woman. I would say most of us here have some memories of our father. If he was a good dad, it seems that you would like to invoke fantastic memories, but many more. Dad is an incomplete concept. Where are we when we turn to our fathers if they're gone? If they fail us, even if they wounded us? Well, today we're going to look at a father is, and what a father is, or what a father should be, and how we can learn this from our Heavenly Father. I didn't have a text this morning. There were so many different starting texts to go with, so I just went ahead and went with what came to my mind. The first thing is a father makes provision for his children. In 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that they may grow thereby. Dad provides the things that the family needs. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 10, for even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any man does not work, neither should he eat. Years ago, Dad was the only one that worked. I can remember my dad worked. My mother was taking care of the home and the children, which was usually more of a full-time job, especially when they're small. Melissa and I will go someplace and somebody will have 2 or 3 or 4 children and we'll be in a restaurant. And I always say, you know what, they should not have children in there. It makes me very nervous, Or if a child, gets hurt or something like that, it makes me very nervous. And sometimes they're climbing over the table, they're climbing over the chairs, they're under the table, whatever the case may be. But it makes me very nervous. And the mother, you'll hear, some of you this may be you. Sit down, please. I'm telling you, sit down. This is the last time. Sit down. I'm not telling you again. Please sit down. Leave your brother alone. Leave the silverware there. Please sit down. It seems like everything that's on the table that they've all seen before, spoon, knife, fork, salt and pepper shaker, napkin, they've seen them all before, but when you get to a restaurant, they're just different. They're magical. I mean, there's something about them that they have to touch everything. And I can remember my dad telling the story of we went somewhere, or maybe coming to California or going back, and all the money Dad left on the table, Judy grabbed it thinking he forgot it, and it was the tip. So that trip didn't work out good for the waitress. But anyways, a French proverb has it: a father is a banker given by nature. Dad used to be the main breadwinner in the home. That's no longer true. Now moms and dads both work outside the home. And then they instituted shift work, for almost every place you work now, there's shift work. Well, leaving the children to care for themselves was not what God had planned. The children are not there to raise themselves. The television is not there to babysit them. And we have so many things that are at our hands touch, the cell phone, the computer, the TV, and all kinds of different things. If you don't have those special channels, or not special, those nasty channels blocked on your TV, you should get them blocked on your TV, because curiosity is one of the tools the devil uses to get us in places we shouldn't be. We should set aside an evening or a day to spend time together as a family. Well, part of our family has been spending time together for the last 3 weeks. Me, my wife, and Brother Ron. And we spent some quality time yesterday on our knees, didn't we, yesterday, Ron? And we weren't praying. We were refinishing some floors in the house that I'm selling to my nephew. We're just going to keep that in the family. But we were refinishing them. So I said, it's kind of unique. We're on our knees all day yesterday. It seemed like most of the day. But anyways, it's good. You should set aside a time that you can spend with family. Usually, for us, it was Friday nights. Now, as we got older, we started driving. That Friday nights was not the time that we set aside, but we usually had Sundays we set aside for the family. We at our house, we all eat together at the table on Sunday. Not every meal we eat together, because not everybody eats. Some people just live at our house and don't actually stay there. Or no, excuse me, they sleep at our house and don't actually live there. So you kind of eat when you go. But if we still, we never, when I was growing up, we never had a more than if you ate what was being fixed. It was not a buffet or a cafeteria. You ate what was fixed, and that's how But you know what? We've got away from that. Well, I don't like this. Or if one that was a member of my family, I don't like anything green. What? But I will tell you this, people, you may not have been aware of it, corn goes with everything. If you're going to have spaghetti, throw a little bit of corn there. If you're going to have a steak, you got corn on the cob. If you're going to have corn goes, I could just eat corn just to be eating corn. I just like, but at our house, corn goes with everything. And for the longest time, we were buying something. I can't remember what it was now. And I said, why doesn't anybody else like it? Why do we buy this if nobody likes it? Well, we buy it because you like it. I said, that's the only reason you buy it. I can't remember what it was now. I don't think we buy it anymore. I said, if I'm the only one you're buying it for, don't buy it for me. Let's buy something that everybody likes. And I can remember there's been some things that have been cooked at our house that have been served, and I ate them. I can't taste things well. And as I'm looking across the table, they're all watching me as I'm just shoveling it in. I thought, what? This is so nasty. Have you ever had somebody come up to you and say, man, this is nasty, taste it? It's nasty. But I'm just sitting there, that's happened several times. You like that? You fixed it, you put it on my plate, it's in front of me, I'm thinking I should eat it. And as I go through the line there over here on Wednesday nights, I say, you know what, fill me up, this may be my last meal, let's make it worth it. Anyway. But, I think, at our home, we always ate supper, or dinner, whatever, the one in the evening, however you want to call it, we always ate it at the table. Now, I sometimes retire from my big comfy chair, in my room, and I sit there and eat it. And I usually have it on my shirt because I'm leaning back as I do that. Last night I bit into something that we purchased in it, all down my shirt. What was that thing? It was I don't know. It was a thing from Del Taco that has cream cheese in it and something else in it. It looked brown. I'm hoping it was edible, but anyway, I bit into it. It was all down my shirt. You know, and that's the thing, you know. But, you know, if it doesn't get all over your face, or it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face anyways. We should set aside a time that we do this. Children were not given to you to do all the work in the home. We're not given to you that way. Austin had asked me when he was a little bit younger, he said, Dad, did you just have us so we could be your slaves? I said, well, that and tax write-off. He also asked, why did you have Abby and Nolan? I said, well, we were trying to get it right. I mentioned that this morning in class, and he still doesn't like that. He knew that was coming, so he walked out graciously before I said that. There can be chores given to the children. I always had chores. I know, and I still do have chores. But you know, Abby has some chores, and Nolan has chores. I don't know why I always seem to pick up the slack there, but it doesn't matter. It's okay. I love him. But some sort of reward should be given for a job well done. Now, I've told you this before. I'm a little bit on the OCD side. Everything has its place. If you have to wash your clothing that's on your floor to get to your bed, you have fumbled the ball. If you know, have you ever went to the refrigerator to get a drink and you step on a small toy? Maybe that toy is upside down and now you're stepping on the prickly part of that toy. And as it's dark, you know where your refrigerator is. I mean, it's like a honing device. You just know how to get there. And then, if you're stepping on things as you try to get there, somebody has fumbled the ball. Everything has a place. How many of you, let's have a show of hands. Men, how many of you know how to make a bed? Raise your hand. Almost all of you. Our deal at our house is the last person out is the person that's going to make the bed. The bed is usually made every day. If she works till 5 or 6, if I make it home about 4:30, I'm making that bed. And the weird part about it is, I don't know if it's like this way at your house, if the bed's not made when you get home, you make the bed so you can get into bed.
Yes. Yes.
That is so bizarre. I said, you know what, why don't I just lay down and make the bed around me? Because that's not that big a deal. But you know what, and I did fumble the ball this week because we've been pretty busy. When you do the laundry, fellas, putting it into the washer, hopefully the soap, also with it, taking it out of the washer about 52 minutes, depending on what cycle you're on, putting it into the dryer for at least 30 to 35 minutes, taking it out of the dryer and putting it into a basket is not doing the laundry.
No.
All that's doing is washing it and drying it. If you leave it at the temperature, it's going to be Tuesday at 111 degrees. If you leave it in the washer for that whole day and you come to it the next morning, do not take it out and put it into the dryer. Go ahead and wash it again because it's probably going to smell very bad. It's probably going to smell like it never did. You'll think, man, I thought I washed this stuff. Where does that smell coming from? It's coming from those wet, moist, nasty, mold-growing clothes that are in your washer. Fellas, let me give you, fellas, dads, because it's Father's Day, let me give you a tip. This is how you do it. You go in and you put the clothes in the washer. At our washer on the long days, the extra cycle, extra heavy is 52 minutes. I set a clock, I set a timer. A little bit on the OCD, I set a timer. 52 minutes as I'm walking there, it stops. I take it out, I put it into the dryer, I said if we have a certain setting, we put everything on. They do the delicates, you know, I don't mess with delicates because I've shrunk some sweaters down to a child. So I don't do that. They do their own deal there, and I don't know how that works, I don't care. But anyways, I just know that when they wash delicates, they're hanging all over the house because you can't dry them. You could dry them, but anyways, that's another story. Fellas, you put it into the dryer, then when the dryer stops, if you have a buzzer on your dryer, set that so the buzzer will go off. Usually about 30-35 minutes. Then you go in, and what you do is you pull out the stuff that needs to be hung, if you lay it over the door of the dryer so it doesn't get all wadded up in the basket. The things that don't need to be hung, put them in the basket. Then you take the stuff off the door of the dryer, lay it across the basket, take them into the room. Everything needs to be hung up. Count them out. You can go into the closet because there will be that many, if not more, hangers in there for those clothes to go on. Hang those clothes up, right side out, not inside out. Then when you do that, then things need to be folded. There's a certain way things need to be done. Okay?
Preacher brother!
If you fold t-shirts inside out, they'll probably wear them inside out. If you fold underwear inside out, they may wear them inside out. I hope you know, fellas, that, I know anyway. And you know what? Socks. I don't see color real well, so sometimes there may be a black sock and a brown sock. That's not really good because you can't tell what color socks I have on, can you? I think they're black. Yeah, they're black. They're way down there. I can't stand to feel a sock fall down my leg, so now I have ankle socks on this morning because I had boots on. Fellas, do not wear ankle socks if you have dress shoes on. That just doesn't look cool. But anyway, so if you have any questions, you can contact me. My number is 661-910-679. If you need to know how to iron, I usually get up about 6:15, 6:30. I iron every clothes, all the clothes that need to be ironed for that day, because you're not going to go out of the house looking like you slept in your clothes. That's just how I feel. Anyway, let's go to number 2. A father will go to great lengths to protect his children. Protect his children. Proverbs chapter 62, verse 2, He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense, and I shall be greatly moved. That is talking about God there. He is your great defense. He is the one that's going to be taking care of you. Dad is there to protect the children, both spiritually and physically. Did you get that? Protect them spiritually. Give them the tools they need to fight the devil that day. Whenever the kids leave, when they were younger, I say, you know what? Mom and Dad make good choices. And I say, you know what? Don't do anything stupid that's going to embarrass your mother. But I always say that. But I would sometimes I would. And they say, Dad, why can't you be serious? I am being serious. Don't do anything stupid that will embarrass your mother, because you will not. That's not good. I try not to do things stupid that will embarrass my wife, but sometimes, everybody has a day. They need, you need to protect them from physical harm and spiritual harm.
Yes.
You say, well, my friend's going to church with his friend, and his friend is a Mormon. He's not going to hear the gospel. That's right. His friend is a Jehovah's Witness. They're not bad people, but they're not going to hear the gospel.
That's right.
And so be careful. Why don't you have that friend come with you? Well, it probably because their parents feel the same way. Be careful. Protect them spiritually as well as physically. The Bible says in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Sister Judy had told us when the missionaries were here from Africa, they were going to Africa, she went to Pensacola Christian College, that both the man and woman that were here, they both had graduated from there. Judy said by the end of the first semester, when she came home at Christmas, she was so confused she didn't know what she believed. You know what? Be careful where you allow your children to go, and where you allow your children to watch and be implemented with. Just be careful. The devil wants to snatch your children while they're young and vulnerable.
Yes.
I said, be careful. Block those bad channels. Put a net nanny on the computer, whatever the case may be, on their cell phone, whatever the case may be, because curiosity is one of the devil's biggest, easiest tools. Nobody's going to know. It's just them. It's just a computer, and nobody else is home. You need to be careful. You don't want to start something that is very difficult to stop. Fathers and mothers need to know who, what, when, and where. Your children are not staying in a hotel. That is your home. You need to know who they're going with, what they're going to do, where they're going, what's going to be going on. And make sure. If you say, hey, can I go to Johnny's house? Sure. Johnny's mom and dad may be gone. Johnny may be having a beer party. You never know. And you know what? Johnny's getting younger and younger as far as the alcohol and the drug parties go. So make sure that you know where your children are. Make sure that you know who they're with. It'd be nice for you to go over and meet Johnny's parents. Make sure that his dad's not a drug lord that lives on your block. Make sure his mother's not who knows what. Just make sure to meet those people and protect your children, because you never know what the devil's going to use to try and attack your family. And you know what? One of the hardest things one of the worst things the devil does is he attacks your children, and then he puts you in a state of worry 24/7. You're worried whenever they leave the house, whenever they go anywhere. You're worried about them, and the devil wants you to worry because that takes your mind off of the things of God, and you're just worrying. So just make sure that you know what your children are doing. Our children were always able to bring friends home. I don't care who they are, bring them over. You know, and I wasn't sitting there cleaning a gun or anything like that. You know, I mean, they'd come over, we'd make friends, you know, we'd play games, we'd just hang out. If you're free, you know what, if you have a boy and a girl, let's say you have a son and he brings his girlfriend over, you know what, I don't think it's a good thing for her to stay over for a slumber party. I just don't think that'd be a good idea. I don't think a co-ed slumber party is a good thing either. Make sure that you know what's going on. Whenever a boy comes over, whenever boys come over to visit Abby, I make sure throughout the afternoon or whatever that I make sure what's going on. You know, you're not laying on the bed together. No, you're not going to be laying. You don't need to be laying at all. You're here to visit. You know, to sit up, stand up. You know, keep things in perspective because you are there, Dad, and also Mom, to protect your children from any appearance of evil. Be sure to do that. Would I die for one of my children if it came down to it? Yes, in a heartbeat. I would. Because I want what's best for my kids. I want my kids to turn out better than me. I want my kids to do more than I did. I want my kids to know that, you know what, I'm not a bum, I'm not a slob, I can work, I can do this. There are certain things I do at the house because, you know, and it's not because I know what you're thinking, well, if you want them done right, you do it yourself. No, that's not necessarily it. It's just because certain things I like done a certain way. And that's just how I am. But you know what? But Dad, you know, make sure that your mom, make sure that you know what's going on with your kids. Well, number 3, a father gives all children the same attention. Matthew chapter 18 verse 14. Even so, it is not the will of the Father which is in heaven that one of these children, one of these little ones, should perish. You shouldn't show favoritism to any children. I realized my parents showed favoritism to me. And, you know, after I came on the scene, Junior was a has-been, Marcus never has been. So I was thinking, we never had favoritism in our family. We don't have favoritism in our family now. I mean, you know, I don't. If the boys were around more, we'd do more things together. But, you know, it's just, you know, Austin now has a family, has his own son. Nolan has his life, and he, you know, does his own thing. Abby, she's still there every day. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 127, verse 4, as the arrows in the hand of a mighty man, so are the children of the youth. Did you hear that? When you're young, have your children, not when you're old, because I'm telling you, they get faster and faster as I get slower and slower. Happy is a man, verse 5, happy is a man that has his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak to the enemies in the gate. Some families have an entourage when they go somewhere. I feel for them. Can you imagine having six little ones under the age of 10 or 5? Brother John was here, one after. 5 children, and I think the oldest one was 14. 11. I can imagine that. They were very well behaved. You know, it wasn't a big deal. You know, but I can't imagine every place you go, you have an entourage going with you. And if your children are the ones that are standing on the table in P.F. Chang's, throwing the rice to the people next to them, you know, that is a problem. You know, I told Melissa, I said they should make restaurants that the children are not able to come in. She said they do. They're called bars. If we were sitting somewhere and as I peruse the room, I'm thinking, oh Lord, please don't have an unruly child sitting next to us because I'll be nervous the whole time. That child is going to get hurt. That child is going to do something crazy. And I have seen them do crazy things. I have seen salt and pepper shakers being thrown across the room. I've seen knives being stuck in the seats and pulled down. And all kinds of different things. Man, I'm telling you, if that child, and I know what you say. If that kid was my kid, I'd pick him out 10 times. Well, I've seen some of you, no.
can screen more this down
But I was
there.
saying, and some kids, you know what, once they get to the age of 12 or 13, tending their height no longer works. I remember one time I told my dad, you can rip my arm off and beat me with the bloody end of it, and I'm not going to shed a tear. That wasn't wise to say. You didn't rip my arm off and mend that belt. And you know, you didn't start crying on the first spank. You thought you held it back as far as you could, and about the 10th or 11th pop of that belt. Oh, okay, I give up. I've got to cry. This is hurting me. And I'm going to be able to sit down for a week. You know what? If your children are out of control by the time they get to the age of 12, 13, 14, it's too late. It's too late. If they are not doing what you would like them to do, it's probably too late. They're doing things that break your heart. Well, hopefully, with prayer, you can change it. The problem, there are problems that there are people that they can't have children. And there are people that should never have children. We need to be glad that God saw fit to allow us, those of you that have children, to have them. If you're one who can't have a child because of physical problem, I'm sorry. Children are a blessing from God. But there are thousands upon thousands of children that don't have anything. They're placed into foster homes and they don't feel safe. They're placed into orphanages where they don't feel safe and they're not safe. You know what? They're there waiting for someone to love them. God is exceedingly thoughtful and tender toward his weak children. God never made a mistake. A child may be born with a disability. That was not a mistake. There was a reason for that. You may not understand the reason now, but when you get to heaven, you'll understand why God did that. And you know, some of those children, they don't complain. Most of them don't complain. Are not sissies. They realize at a young age that they have a disability, and you know what? Most of those children are the lovingest children you can ever meet. They just love life, even though they have some disabilities. God didn't make any mistakes. God made it for a reason. Dad, one of your children may not be an athlete, and the other is. That's just how it is. Nolan played baseball and played football. Austin, pretty much, if you involved a controller of a PlayStation or something, that's what he liked. Don't live vicariously through your children by forcing them into doing something that they don't want to do. If they want to do something, be there and be their biggest cheerleader. Even if they can't hit the ball great, you know what? You did your best. Even if they can't, they fumbled the football and lost the game. No, that doesn't matter. You did your best. Be their biggest cheerleader. Be the one that's cheering them on, and be the one that they live in the crowd and they see you. You jumping up and down, waving your arms in the air, because that's my son, that's my daughter. You should still treat them and love them the same way as a father loves you. No restriction. Well, number 4. A father is thrilled when a child begins to say, Dad. Galatians chapter 4, verse 6. And because you are sons, God has sent forth the Spirit of His Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. There's only 2 other places in the Bible that Abba, Father is used. Why is that? When you see somebody on TV, he always says, Hi, Mom. Well, you may just have a second. Dad, you are just as important. You're very important. Without you, he wouldn't have been there. If you didn't have a father figure in your life when you were young, I'm sorry. My dad taught me a lot of things. One thing I remember, my dad would always love to fish. I told you this before. I would always mess with the eyes when you caught the fish. And he said, don't do that. Okay. I stop. We said don't do something. You don't need to have 5 fingers and a thumb or 4 fingers and a thumb slapping you telling you to stop it. And so finally, after I got older, I said, Dad, remember when I was young, I was probably a teenager, and you always told me not to mess with the fish eyes. What was that? Would that mess up the fish or the meat? He said, no, that just wasn't right. Don't do that. I said, oh, okay, because I don't know if you're going to he'd say stop. Right? I thought I figured, maybe we'll do something to the fish. Maybe we'll get, poison the meat or something. He said, no, you just know there's something you just don't do. Oh, okay. Without a dad in your life, Mom had double duties. And it's tough. It's difficult. I know it's difficult. I have friends that were raised in a single mother. Their mother was the only adult in their family that they had in their home. I hope your dad is a big part or was a big part of your life. My dad taught me how to be a husband, a father, and a father of my children. I wouldn't trade the years that I had, the pleasure of spending time with my dad for anything. All of us are going to come to that day. And it's going to be a hard day. But you know what? That's why while they're here, love them, cherish them, respect them, don't break their heart. Don't make them worry about you. Everybody, probably every child, every young person in here, I don't know what age it goes down to, has a cell phone. Call them if you're going to be late. I was one, before the cell phones came around, I was always late. I stayed, they turned the garage into another room, and I remember coming in late, I don't know what time it was, and I would look out through my blinds and the light, and the house would go off. Mom was waiting for me. There's no excuse now if you have a cell phone that you can't call and say, hey. I remember, 6 months ago, a year ago, no one called. It was about 12:30 at night. He had an accident on the highway. We went out there. He misjudged. I don't know what happened. He hit a median, spun around, hit me on the other side of the car, spun around into the middle where the trees are, unhurt. A guy stopped and let him go use his phone, and he called us. We got out there. The police were there. Phil was out there, and some other officers. I remember. Driving up to the scene and seeing that car. I was told it was done. And when I got out of the car, Phil, the Chicago walked up and said, he's okay. Then I said, thank you, God. Walked over to Nolan. He was pretty shaken up. You can imagine. I said, Nolan, that car is a picture of this. God had his hand on you. Dad, be the dad that you need to be. Be better than you have been from this day forward. In conclusion, those of you that are here, spend time with your dad. If he doesn't live close to you today, call him. Visit him when you can. You can't go there and bring him to you. Life is short. The time you're able to spend with your dad will be something that you remember for life. Father, I know that in all my life is a portion of there's a part of me that I need to give to my children. And I hope the part that I give changes them for a lifetime. Let's stand together this morning.